Afternoon, everybody. First of all, welcome, and thanks for making the time to actually attend this presentation. We're going to talk about Perrigo's journey with S4, S4 being the enabler and driver for their finance transformation. But before we do that, I'd like to introduce you to my co-presenter, Melissa.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for attending. I'm excited to talk about Perrigo's CFIN journey. I'm Melissa Arendt, and I am a finance director at Perrigo. So my background is in accounting and corporate accounting specifically. I am helping to lead the CFIN implementation at Perrigo, and our journey has been ongoing for about 2.5 years now, obviously in close partnership with PwC and all of my Perrigo finance and IT colleagues. Rakesh?
Thank you, Melissa. So my name is Rakesh Mehta. I'm a partner with PwC based out of Boston. Spent a lot of time doing S4-enabled finance transformation. Believe me, I've been working in this space for quite a bit of time and way too long, if you ask me. Before we go to talk about Perrigo, let me talk about some of the consistent themes I hear in the market, right? So I spend a lot of time with our clients, clients that are new, clients that are old, prospective, and so on. Doesn't matter. The finance community that we talk to, I hear a consistent theme, right? I hear the theme that our landscapes are way too complex. So what does that mean? It means that we're applying brute force month after month, day after day to actually bring the information together. And more importantly, once that information comes together, it's not granular enough, it's not good enough for decision making. More importantly, only certain people really know what's in the data. And if you need to explain a certain amount of data in a certain month's file, then you need to go find somebody who can explain it, as well as in some cases, it could be that the person who's actually done certain journal postings have long gone already. The other theme that I hear consistently is the system isn't performing. Like it's slow, right? Over a number of years, the data has built, the footprint builds. Of course, automatically the system is going to slow down. Another theme that I hear consistently is that only certain individuals really know how the functionality works. So the system isn't simple, isn't lean enough to be able to actually understand, or anybody could understand for that matter. Another set of themes that I hear quite often is that we just didn't get our foundation right. Now that's my pet peeve point. SAP is still very unforgiving. You really need to spend a lot of time up front. And of course, if you're thinking about S4, next generation platform, think hard around your foundation. Another thing that's equally important, or the themes I hear, is that the model is changed. So what we built, to do SAP for, our business is very different. Another theme that I hear is that we've over-customized. Now, look, a lot of our customers are actually embarking on S4 journey, and this is their second time around. And think about your life. If you were to go back to school, we'd all want to be an A+ student, right? So hence, Perrigo's journey and how we started and what we did is an important discussion. Their experience is important because I believe we did it the right way, and there's a lot of stuff that we've enabled and still doing. So hearing from you will be very important. Maybe, Melissa, one of the questions I'll ask is if you rewind yourself back 3.5 years ago, we went through this same exercise on how do you take your current complex landscape that had some of the themes that I just said and actually go towards SAP S4. Because the question was, when do we start, where do we start, who do we start with, how do we do it, and so on. And then that's how Perrigo's central finance journey kind of came around. You want to share that, maybe?
And I'll start with just a little bit on who Perrigo is. So Perrigo is a global consumer self-care company. And Perrigo itself has gone through quite a business transformation over the last couple of years with the sale of its RX business and a few acquisitions along the way. So as a project team, as we've been trying to go live with CFIN, we've also been trying to navigate kind of the changing business dynamics, which, as you know, added a little bit of a challenge for us in the mix of part of our deployment, but a good challenge to have that the business is active like that. And I've been at Perrigo for a little over 9 years. And so if I think about kind of the history since I've been at Perrigo, I've seen quite a bit of growth through acquisition. And as we've acquired companies, which I'm sure a lot of companies can relate to, we've acquired their ERP systems, we've acquired their consolidation tools. So at the end of the day, right, our finance landscape keeps on growing and growing. And CFIN was a way for us to help address that. Well, we started our official journey back in late 2019. We were in about 30 plus countries. We had 20 different ERP systems, and it was a mix of SAP and non-SAP, but definitely our biggest footprint is in SAP. And we had 3 consolidation tools and 3 financial planning tools. So our finance landscape was quite complex for the size of Perrigo. And that was, like I said, that's kind of the foundation of what got us started thinking about that CFIN might be a good fit for Perrigo. And our data movement just wasn't super efficient at month end either. We would be taking subsets of our ERP systems, consolidating them up, and doing that a few times before we ultimately got to kind of that top level consolidation. And it was at a very aggregated data level. So we didn't have rich information available to us all in one platform. As a finance organization, we were all working in various platforms globally. And really that's where CFIN and Rakesh and PwC came in to help us think through our CFIN journey to help fix some of those issues. And that's the finance story, right? And there's the IT story too, about this is kind of the foot in the door to S4.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah.
Look, so after going through that deliberation process of what, how, when, where, we embarked on the central finance journey. This was 2.5 years ago. And, look, we also deliberated quite a bit on the approach. How do we skin this? How do we approach this thing, right? So now, look, we could have done GL and we could have done AP and AR, a lot of that together. But when we looked at the number of countries that were involved in the case for Perrigo, it seemed logical that you would go on the traditional path, right? So we took them through a 1-year+ journey to actually implement a general ledger-based platform where we actually did the technical plumbing for many of their SAP and non-SAP systems. For non-SAP, we leveraged a bunch of tools to do that, real time. So that was the left-hand side, all the non-SAP, SAP source system. On the right-hand side, we built the best home for Perrigo to drive their future reporting strategy. And we did the technical plumbing for that. Bottom line is, the GL data was flowing from left and right, and in most cases, it was real time. Besides that, we did the consolidation and financial planning. And yes, we did take a crack at financial planning, which is a combination and a mixed bag of BPC and SAC. So that was our first focus and first release. And within that, we actually did 3 to 4 months of parallel to make sure that our data was tying up both from left to right between GL, but as well as rolling up from a consolidation perspective comparable to HFM, which was their platform for consolidation. The next release was to take the platform and actually make it operational. So what we're doing now is doing accounts payable, accounts receivable, we're doing treasury, we're doing global costing, we're doing many of the operational components to push the envelope farthest from a CFIN perspective. And then eventually, of course, there's an organization and a people element around that, but which Melissa will talk to in a few seconds. But that was the high-level approach. Release 1 focused on GL, consolidation, financial planning. Release 2 focused on really the operational bits and pieces around AP, AR, treasury, central payment. We did the treasury with manual with MBC, so efficient bank communication, in-house bank, in-house cash, all sorts of stuff, including global costing. So why do we do global costing? To really get more visibility on our transfer price and do elimination from a profit perspective in inventory. So, and Melissa will talk about that. Melissa, maybe if you want to just double click on our release 1 scope and release 2 scope, and then we'll hit the lessons learned.
Yeah, so when we talk about release 1, especially from a finance perspective, it's about talking about building our foundation. So when I said we were all working in various different tools globally, this was a chance to kind of bring all of our financial data together in one central platform. And that was kind of our goal as part of release 1. And so there were key decisions around how far do we take it from real-time replication. And I think you mentioned, Rakesh, that we connected SAP and non-SAP. And then everything else we decided would be a trial balance load direct into CFIN. We wanted CFIN itself to be, from a pre-consolidated perspective, truly the full source of all of our financial information. So any topside adjustments, any trial balances, all of that information would go direct into CFIN. And that's what we wanted to do as part of Release 1. Our journey took us a little over 12 months. We started at the back end of 2019, and then we went live in early 2021. And so that was building the foundation of CFIN. Big part of that is all about defining your new enterprise structure and all about harmonization of the data. And so we did have, a foundation to start from and how we consolidated data previously, but we really took the opportunity to say, how do we want to newly define our enterprise structure? And we did it without disrupting our source systems, right? So we're taking all of our financial information from all of our ERPs, we're bringing it together and harmonizing it as it hits into CFIN. And that was really our Release 1 journey. And it was a big change for us going from HFM to group reporting. But now we're all existing in one consolidation tool, which has been a big benefit for the finance organization, and then our journey to BPC. So that was Release 1. And then as we think about Release 2, after we went live with Release 1, we were still transacting from a day-to-day finance perspective in our source systems, right? CFIN from our Release 1 was kind of our global aggregator of data. But we were still doing journal entries, we were still doing our transactional processing in source systems. And Release 2, right, we're starting to build off of the functionality that we built in Release 1. And our goal as part of Release 2 is to bring the finance organization up and start transacting into CFIN. So instead of us transacting in our own separate source systems, our goal is to now start transacting in our global box here of CFIN. And I think you ran through the scope. It's AP, it's AR. It's global treasury, it's fixed assets, right? So we'll be capitalizing our fixed assets in CFIN now and running depreciation. Month-end close we'll be doing in CFIN with the financial closing cockpit. And so, yeah, there's a lot that we're adding on from a functionality perspective. And obviously there's reporting pieces that we need to consider too as we start moving up these different types of transactions that will just now live in CFIN and not live in source.
Before we go for lessons learned, do you want to maybe just speak a few minutes on our, not before Release 1 and Release 2 execution, our Phase 0 journey a little bit?
Yeah, we did do a Phase 0 with PwC. Before we brought everyone together from a project perspective, we spent a few months to make key decisions. And that really was our way of, start slow to go fast later. So as soon as we started Release 1, we had those decisions out of the way. And that we could just start going. And so some of those decisions were around tool decisions. So when we started with PwC, we didn't know if it was going to be group reporting or not. So we had the discussions around the tool selection as part of Phase 0 before we officially started the project. We started a lot of discussions, the two of us, on enterprise structure and profit center structure in those early months too, just to start to lay the foundation. And really the point was to make those key decisions at a project leadership level and really at a Perrigo leadership level, and that we would set the direction for the project team going forward.
Thank you, Melissa. If we pivot to lessons learned, maybe I'll start with data first.
Yeah.
Data. That's what a central finance project is about. And you may think, why am I saying it 3 times? First, data from a profiling perspective. So we borrowed a lot of our assurance auditing techniques, lucky for us, and we created a very unique methodology where we bring information in and through intelligence actually try to get a head start on the giant mapping exercise we need to do the GL plumbing, if you may, first. Second, data. From a reconciliation validation perspective, think about the millions of lines that are going from left to right. How do you build a framework and reporting mechanisms so that you can quickly validate that everything is holding before you release the pipe and go through a parallel process? Last but not the least, and folks actually underestimate, is governance, right? You need to do governance to make sure the entire landscape holds. Governance of configuration, governance of master data, and when I talk about master data, I talk about all the finance master data that drives the reporting, but as well as customer and product master data. Here's a third element of governance that's equally important that people forget are the mappings that you do, right? Because you're taking a lot of systems that have been built over time, different systems, SAP, and of course, there's giant mapping exercise. Some are simple and some are not, but you got to govern master data, you got to govern configuration, and you got to govern mapping. Maybe pivoting to people, there's a lot of element around people as well. Go ahead.
Yes, it's a heavy lift on data, so we definitely needed a lot of people. And any guidance I would have for someone starting their journey or maybe the early stages is you probably need more people than you think. It's a big data-focused project, release one, and it did require a pretty heavy lift from the finance and IT side on all fronts, not just data. So I wouldn't underestimate the amount of people it will take from your organization. It will be a bit of a resource pull for you. But also making sure that you have buy-in from the top level. So obviously, before you start CFIN, right, you're going to have your leadership team say yes, right? So you're going to have the buy-in at that level. But making sure that kind of gets cascaded down to all levels, that you have that support within your organization, is also really key as well. So can't speak enough about people. It will take people, it will take your implementation partner, but it will take a lot of people from your own organization to get through this.
Shifting to other lessons learned, right? One of the things that you need to account for, because the journey was ballpark 2.5, 3 years, is that there are other things also happening in the organization, right? So in case for Perrigo, there was a divestiture. Then there were multiple acquisitions. Then there were assets purchased that required convergence in their existing SAP and non-SAP system. Think about all those mini projects that are happening and events that are happening. How do you build a plan that requires a release 1, release 2 deployment and has its own method to madness, coupled with all these events, business, that are layered in, in 3 years, right? So that's one thing that you have to account for as you do this multi-year journey. The other thing that's equally important is performance, right? So if you take 500 million lines items across multiple SAP and non-SAP system, and you pump it through a transformation and rule mechanism into a GL solution, right? And you're comparing it to a bunch of other applications from a reporting perspective and so on, there's an element of performance that you need to look at very hard and make sure that those will hold for your metrics and for your reporting. In case for Perrigo, because we needed external data to drive our metrics, and because we needed performance down to a certain level, sub-seconds, we actually did go with a sidecar HANA-based warehouse solution. So we are taking all the millions of lines from left to right, and we're using CFIN almost like an engine to do the transformation and the enrichment to drive the reporting, but we are real-time replicating it into a sidecar solution to be able to drive the performance and the metrics, combining with external data, like in inventory in our case, because we were marrying the data with global costing. Now, another piece that's important from our global treasury costing perspective is we took the costing information global in CFIN. We took all the COGS and variances that were coming in, we married it so that we could split the information and actually see the cost components so that we could isolate the transfer price component. So it was pretty sophisticated. It's not quite standard, but we have a decent methodology built around how to deliver that state of the art. Right? Any other lessons learned, Melissa?
Well, just building off what you said on the changing business dynamics, there's never going to be a good time to do your implementation, right? And you can't predict what's going to happen in the next kind of 6 months either once you start the project. So one key thing that both of us had to learn is just how to be flexible, right? So our timeline had to be updated because business comes first, right, in these types of scenarios. So it was all about being agile, focusing on our scope, right, and being able to deliver with some of these other competing priorities that were happening around the business. But performance is a key one, too, that now we're working on, too, with the EDW, the Enterprise Data Warehouse, for sure.
Any other topics?
No.
Okay. So, look, one of the discussions we did early on also, just so that we have this on the floor here, was around financial planning, the tools, right? So we went through our deliberation process, but when we started our journey, we had BPC to begin with, and SAC was just on the horizon. So we took a mixed bag approach on BPC and SAC. And of course, it's been great because we had some component of financial planning in BPC, some in SAC. And SAC has evolved to a point now, and I think that's one of our things to do at Perrigo, which is how do we upgrade the platform so that we can enable the latest, greatest functionality, not only from a CFIN perspective, but also from a group reporting perspective, but also from a SAC perspective, with eventual plan being to move everything from financial planning perspective to SAC because it's ready, and group reporting was ready for consolidation already. So those are some of the things that you got to factor in as you go through a multi-year journey, probably not any different than any other ERP program, but from a CFIN perspective, it was very, very special. So we have 30 seconds. Any other last closing comments, Melissa?
Well, we never talked about when we're going live for Release 2,
Please.
right? So
Absolutely.
hopefully in 3 months, right? So our journey was a little bit longer for Release 2, but we're hoping, right, if all goes well, that we'll be live in Release 2 in August here.
Yep.
But then the journey isn't done, right? There will be more that we want to evolve on the platform, but at least we'll have some of these key pieces moved up for a finance organization to start transacting in CFIN come August is the goal.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, but thanks
Appreciate
everyone.
it. Thank you.
Appreciate the time.